And welcome back to Late Night Lately, the late night show. I'm your host, Chad White. If you didn't know, this is a podcast for the website cpluscomedy.com. Like I just said, it's a late night podcast for the website cpluscomedy.com. Like I just said, it's a website. Go there. Hey, I'm back. I have a monologue. Let's get to it. South Dakota Governor Kristi Noem, God, I hope she's a governor. I hope she's from South Dakota, released a book this week, in which she said she killed her dog and then afterwards killed her goat and lied about meeting North Korean dictator Kim Jong-un. Ugh, I am so disgusted. Why would you lie about meeting Kim Jong-un? That's right, South Dakota governor. Again, I hope she's a governor and from South Dakota. Kristi Noem released a book in which she said she killed her dog and then afterwards killed her goat and lied about meeting North Korean dictator Kim Jong-un. Instead, she didn't really kill her dog. Instead, she sent it to the next Democratic National Convention. A fate worse than death for a Republican dog. I messed up the joke because I wrote it down wrong. During his New York hush money trial, former President Donald Trump is said to have been falling asleep and farting in the middle of court, only to be woken by his lawyer with whispers and notes on slips of paper. With Stormy Daniels taking the stand this week, thank goodness we're only dealing with the backside. It's a little masturbation joke, which is poorly worded, but whose fault is that? That's right. During his New York hush money trial, former President Donald Trump is said to have been falling asleep and farting in the middle of court. When asked to comment, he said, "It wasn't me, but if it was, it would have been the best smelling fart you've ever smelled in your life." I only wrote 4 jokes. Actually, I had help with those. My friend, my writing friend, Blaze, who wants to learn how to write. He and I wrote those yesterday when we met up. It was great. 4 jokes. When's the last time I did jokes for the monologue? When's the last time I did an episode? 2 weeks ago? 20 days ago, I think. By the time, let me look at podcast. Let's see. 20 days ago, exactly. I meant to do one last week, and I did not. It's hard. Also, when there's nothing to talk about. Like for constitutionals, I can find something to talk about. For LinkedIn logs, I can find something to talk about. Late Night Lately is very difficult because it's so focused on late night stuff. Late night we're right now in the throes of spring, and unfortunately, late night is, people are off one week, and then on the next week, and then some, and a lot of shows aren't on at the same time, but you will often find that when some people are on, they have a mid-tier worth of guests, which is fine. It's not not the worst thing in the world. All right. So that being said, I think Kimmel has had just a fantastic week, especially thanks to this Trump stuff. He's been really going at it when it comes to this Trump criminal trial, which is very funny. And even though he's had people like David Beckham and Nikki Glaser after her performance with the Tom Brady roast, it's just so interesting to see Kimmel deliver a 10-minute monologue, and then there's a lot of 6-minute bits following, but 10-minute monologue addressing the elephant in the room that is Trump. And yes, that is a fat joke against Dangle J. Tramp. And I just think the past 2 weeks for Kimmel have just been, truly has been on his A game. Seth Meyers has had a really good set of weeks, especially coming off of a 2-week vacation, and he's been able to comment on the hush money trial as well. And he's also had a lot of good guests. In one episode this week, he had Joel Edgerton, Lily Gladstone, and Cole Escola, and then, or is it Escuela? I think it might be Escola. Anyway, it's just been a really good set of weeks for Seth and his interviewees, as well as the monologue and a closer look. And it's, as long as he remains loose, it's very fun. The Daily Show has been good as well. They hired Josh Johnson completely as a correspondent, which is fantastic. Somebody I know works at the Daily Show. That's great. I love Josh Johnson. We've talked twice. It's fantastic. And this week they had a reverse set of interviews. Reverse hosting duties. Jon Stewart hosted last night's episode, the Thursday episode, as opposed to the Monday episode, because he was at the Netflix as a Joke Festival and he was doing all the LA stuff. Which means Jordan Klepper got to host Monday through Wednesday, and it's really good, fantastic. The Daily Show is the Daily Show. It's still so good, and it's very. Yeah, I don't know what it is about the Daily Show. I don't know if it's because it's so smaller and focused when compared to the other late night shows like Kimmel and Colbert and Fallon and Seth. But I do think that there's necessity for all of these late night shows. Including and After Midnight as well. I don't know why I did not name After Midnight or pull up its thing. Oh, because it was off last week, and then I forgot about this week. No offense to After Midnight, but I think there's necessitation for all of these shows. And there's something that I on top of everything, when they were off, they were dark last week, the Daily Show. So they uploaded, I think, 3 or 4 different Jon Stewart things from his time, videos from his time. They need to take more advantage of this. When they're dark this year, they need to, when they're off for like a week or 2 at a time, they need to start uploading old videos. And I think they could just put up Daily Show Classic on the bottom and like on a bottom banner and just have that uploaded every so often, like Letterman does. There needs to be a record for all of this stuff. And I think that's what's more important, because how come this is the issue I have with Team Coco, with Conan O'Brien's YouTube page. They need to separate that stuff out. They need to put Team Coco podcast and have all the videos from his podcasts and other podcasts go up on there. And then not all the video, but all the clips that they have. And then and the SiriusXM stuff. And then just have Conan O'Brien late night, like Team Coco late night, and let that exist and let that have everything from Conan's late night tenure. Because the whole deal for Team Coco and Conan O'Brien Classic was for him to say, hey, we own all these clips and now you can watch them whenever you want. And I think a majority of them live on, teamcoco.com, but what I'm saying is I did not subscribe to Team Coco to see podcast stuff. In fact, I don't listen to the podcast at all. I subscribe to it, and when I see people like Tiffany Haddish, then yeah, I'll download it, and then weeks will go by, and I'll go, I'm not going to listen to this. I swipe it away. Although I have the SiriusXM exclusive show, the Conan O'Brien and Jordan Slansky show, whatever it's called, I listened to that. And by listening to that, I mean I was 6 episodes behind because I do like one a month, I think. And I had some free time, and I went, you know what? I'm going to listen to these at twice the speed. Very true. Then Jimmy Fallon, as the resident, this is a compliment, as the resident goofy doofus over there in late night, playing games and everything. He's the only one still playing, because there's no one else playing games besides after midnight, whatever. It's great to see people like Lin-Manuel Miranda and his dad do interviews and to see Jimmy play games with Hannah Waddingham. I don't know if he did that, but there's also a trailer for his 10th anniversary special. I believe it's airing sometime next week, and that'll be the topic for next week's episode. I talked about Kimmel. Where's the Colbert Show? Where's the Stephen Colbert Show? You know what? Truth be told, I didn't watch a lot of it this week, and then I turned on last night's episode, which was the May 9th episode, and quite frankly, I just watched the theme song. What was it called? What's not the theme song? The monologue, and then the meanwhile, and then I turned it off because I had to go walk Maverick, this is not interesting at all. But I just have not been watching Stephen Colbert. I think it's mostly because I don't like his audience. But it looks like he had Jen Psaki on, Tiffany Haddish. What is she promoting? Cedric the Entertainer, Ethan Hawke. Oh, just a good group of people. Laura Coates, okay, all right, and John Leguizamo. I'm noticing his interviews don't get a lot of viewers as well. Phil Keoghan. Oh man, look at that. They've got a lot of CBS people on. And then After Midnight, again, I forgot that it was on this week. But it looks like they had Atsuko Okatsuka was on. She's funny. And yeah, all right, cool. There we go. I'm sorry. And Mike Birbiglia. I'm sorry, I'll catch up. And Catherine Cohen. Oh, she's so pretty. And Chris Redd. Oh, look at that. Okay, anyway, I'll just, whatever. I'll watch clips. We'll see what happens. But I want to talk about this. With Jon Stewart returning to The Daily Show, you might be wondering how it's been looking in terms of ratings. If you look at the YouTube views on those monologues, his 14-minute monologues, oh my gosh, they haven't had this much viewership since, they had a host. And even still, when Leslie Jones and Wanda Sykes and Chelsea Handler and Sarah Silverman were hosting, they still got a lot, like 1 million views per monologue. That's the power of The Daily Show. You know what? The Tonight Show is the biggest name in late night. What's Colbert's show? The Late Show is also a huge name, and they both have storied connections to them. Last Week Tonight, I think, will die when that show ends. Like when John Oliver leaves that show, I think Last Week Tonight will be done. I don't know if HBO or Warner would ever continue that show, but The Daily Show, for what it's worth, since the Jon Stewart. Okay. All right, that's the title of this episode. Jon Stewart. Since the Jon Stewart era. Jesus Christ. Since Jon Stewart was hosting that first round, the show has always been in a light that people only see it favorably. And even when, all the racists stopped watching because Trevor Noah started hosting and people were like, I miss John, and Colbert left, it was still a powerhouse. And I think part of the reason why is because, A, they hire a lot of younger writers compared to Colbert's show. And Colbert's Late Show, not the Colbert Show. I don't know what the writers, but I assume they were 50 to 60-year-old white men. Or at the time, 40-year-old white men. And then when he went to the Late Show, the 50-year-old white men. And so they hired a lot of younger writers. And when Stewart left and Trevor came, they really steered hard into YouTube and social media. And that is a strength of The Daily Show now, because I think it has the best social media game out of every single one of these late night shows. If I was After Midnight, if I was their social media people, I would have gone to The Daily Show and said, how do you make this work? Because no other late night show is doing what they're doing. So, to no one's surprise, the first show back, Jon Stewart's Daily Show on that Monday, the first show back on February 12th hit a multi-year high in viewers. The first few episodes after Jon Stewart's return, hosted by The Daily Show correspondent Jordan Klepper, also came in way ahead of the show's average viewership for 2023. We're 7 weeks in, or so. And the pattern has mostly held up. Ratings have cooled since April, but both Stewart's Monday shows and the news team-led installments later in the week have consistently stayed well above both the show's guest host era of 2023 and the final weeks of Trevor Noah's tenure in 2022. They've been averaging, since John returned, about 546,000 viewers per episode, which is great for cable. These are for the first air of the show, and not for simulcast or delayed viewing or streaming. That's a 62% increase over the 336,000 viewers the show averaged for the 22 weeks plus 1 day it aired original episodes last year, which means the day after you watch as well. Monday nights are far and away the most watched, obviously, because of Jon Stewart. The 9 episodes he's hosted, not including March 18th, have averaged just under 880,000 viewers, which is more than 2.5 times the show's average. I think it also helps is that the show's on Paramount Plus now, because when, I think last year, and also when, no, you know what? At the end of Trevor's tenure, that's when it was also on Paramount Plus, but it was not on Paramount Plus when he was in the throes of hosting. Because I remember that it was a big deal when I went, oh, it's on Paramount Plus. To me, it was a big deal to me. Yeah, I mean, as soon, when we get closer to national conventions, because I do believe the Daily Show is going to the Democratic National Convention. Don't quote me on that. Let me see, actually. Daily Show Democratic National Convention. I have the internet in front of me. Let's see. Yes, the Daily Show, this is confirmed as of April 29th, 2024, is going to the Republican and Democratic national conventions. This comes from Variety, written by Michael Schneider. Wow. So they're going to be doing their Indecision 2024 coverage from July 15th to the 18th for the national convention for the Republicans, and then Chicago for the Democratic National Convention from August 19th to the 22nd. Oh boy, it's going to be real downer. But I think from that point forward, from July on, we're just going to see gangbuster numbers. And it's important because in that time period, that's when the Daily Show was off last year. And even before that, that's when Trevor would take like months off at a time. And also RIP to Desus and Mero's show. They would also take off like half the summer. And Kimmel's off half the summer too, or the entire summer, and he has guest hosts. Let me host Kimmel. Give me 2 days. Give me 1 day. Speaking of late night, which this is the show is about. I thought I was still hosting the Constitutionals because I just recorded that. Jennifer Moss over at Variety writes about Busy Phillips returning to late night. When I saw this last week, I was so excited. When I found out where Busy Phillips was hosting the show, I became less excited. But you know what? I'm glad she's back on TV where she belongs, because I liked her late night show on E, and unfortunately they aired it from Sunday to Wednesday, which is just a horrible thing. They should have just done 3 days a week, or 4 days a week, or 2 days a week, or 1 day a week instead of Sunday to Wednesday. The name of Busy Phillips' new show is called Busy This Week, and is over on QVC Plus, which is a thing I did not know existed. And she's also hosting a podcast. Busy Phillips is doing her best. With QVC Plus, Moss writes, Phillips and her co-host are producing partner Cassie St. Onge have found an unlikely yet somehow perfect platform for their bubbly banter. The series debuted on May 8th, just 2 days ago, and it sees the best friends conducting celebrity guest interviews, sharing personal stories, and giving viewers a dose of retail therapy via Phillips's curated shopping picks, obviously, because it's on QVC Plus. Busy Tonight was that last show she hosted on E, and again, it was a great show. I mean, she truly, when that show, it's not often when a late night show airs, it was something that's dubbed late night show, I go, oh, this is a late night show. There were shows, I think Guy Branum hosted one, Talk Show, The Game Show, which I think was a fantastic show. I would not call it a late night show. I wouldn't call the Comedy Bang Bang show on IFC, I wouldn't call that a late night show. It was a talk show. I wouldn't call it a late night show. But it was, this Busy Tonight was just a great show, and it was canceled after 6 months. Oh my gosh. It shouldn't have been on E. It could have been on TBS. They could have aired it with Samantha Bee. Oh my God, that would have been good. Oh, we would have had, like, imagine if we had Samantha Bee. No, Busy Tonight going into Samantha Bee going into Conan. They probably would have done Samantha going into Busy going into Conan. Just to have interview, and like full story episode, whatever. Full story episode. Despite Busy tonight's unceremonious end, Phillips says the spark of the idea of doing late night never left her. There was a generous offer from one streamer, but she and St. Ange worried about the level of control they'd have over the show. I wonder who that would have been. It's probably not Netflix. Maybe it was Hulu, because they're talking about control. Maybe it was Hulu. Maybe it was Paramount. I doubt it. Maybe it was Max. Maybe. QVC invited Busy to host a shopping special called Busy for the Holidays on QVC Plus in 2022. They enjoyed doing that, Phillips and Cassie, and they wanted to continue working with them. This is interesting. While mega media companies duke it out with big budget series and recycled IP, we just talked about that on the Constitutionals, in the protracted streaming wars, sister home shopping networks QVC and HSN, Home Shopping Network, are approaching the game differently with their platforms, QVC Plus and HSN Plus. Just have the same platform. If they're this, because they're owned by the same company. Never mind. Okay. These free streamers did not know that. Well, I'm going to find QVC Plus right now. Yeah. Oh, yes. Okay. So you go to plus.qvc.com and you get both QVC Plus and HSN Plus. But why? We'll talk about this in a second. Anyway, this is frustrating me. These free streamers are building out their programming beyond content centered around selling you stuff. Make no mistake, that's the end game of the network's business model. But the strategy for getting there is to make the experience organic. I'll tell you this right now. You can't buy C Plus Comedy. But I will host a show on QVC Plus and HSN Plus. I'm not kidding. I will do it right now as we speak. Okay, first things first, on plus.qvc.com, you can download the app on every major platform. Android TV, Google TV, Apple TV, LG, Roku, Fire TV. Okay. It is a single app. Okay, QVC Plus, HSN Plus. That's what it's called. QVC Plus and HSN Plus. That is the name. The and is part of the name. And it's not an ampersand. I would just call it Shopping Plus or something. I don't know. There's a lot of live channels. Let me mute this because I don't want this. To give the free thing. It looks like you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 separate channels, all airing different things. Okay. There's like a lot of re-airs, and some are new, some are old, whatever. Who cares? Let's see what Busy Phillips' new show is. I didn't know it was a free thing. It's Busy this week. Okay. You see it? You can just search for it right there. The first episode was with her Girls 5 Ever crew, Sarah Bareilles, Paula Pell, Renee Elise Goldsberry. And then there was an after show. Cool. All right, that's interesting. That's very interesting to me. I assume I assume it's a talk show. And then moving on from that, beyond that, they're like, oh, we're sitting on this new bed frame from West Elm. I know they don't sell stuff from West Elm. I'm just thinking that's what they do. So it is free. You click on it, you get you can shop with your remote. You're getting an ad for QVC.com and HSN.com. And then it's a splash screen and they have a theme song. Okay. Oh, wow. And they have, very interesting. The theme song started playing. Is there a crowd? It sounds like there's a crowd. The theme song started playing and they immediately show me a parka that's $90. All right. It looks like she's doing, there is a crowd. She's doing some type of monologue. Oh my gosh. Okay. So it looks like if you look at it online, it looks like there's ad breaks. No, there's not. There are 4 ad breaks. But before all those, there are lines in the timeline and they're selling you different things. So whatever Cassie's wearing, that's what you can buy on QVC. You'll see a Bose SoundLink Flex Bluetooth wireless speaker, but it's still a late night show. This is the strangest thing. And this is going to be something that I have to download now. I have to download this so I can keep up with Busy Phillips' late night tenure. Oh my gosh. Oh, we're all dying. Disney Plus and Warner Brothers Discovery, they're all coming together, and Sony wants to buy Paramount. What is, and TV shows are all IP now. What is this? Oh my God, I'm so tired. I hate seeing. I knew there was gonna be product placement, but it's just so in your face. Oh my gosh. Do we need a Lord of the Rings reboot? Everything's just coming to a head. Late night is just such a fickle mistress, and if this is the way it's going to go, then maybe we shouldn't do this. I was so excited when I was doing this story, and then I look at it, I'm like, oh boy, this is so much. Okay, anyway, listen, if you like what you heard here, that's the Busy Phillips show. I got nothing else to say about it. As soon as I watch the clip, I'll have more to say about it. I wonder if you can find it on YouTube. Let's see. What was it called? Busy This Week. Okay. Busy This Week. Let's see. Yeah, you can find clips, not full clips, but you can find 1 minute clips on QVC HSN's Plus YouTube channel. Anyway, if you like what you heard here, head to the website cpluscomedy.com, where you can see me talk to your favorite comedians, directors, writers, producers, all that stuff. This week I talked to Sarah Hester Ross, who just released her first stand-up special, musical special, comedy special, called Don't Mess with a Redhead. I also had a chance to sit down with Daniel Van Kirk, who just put out his new special and album, Rose Gold. They're both fantastic talks. Seriously, check them out. YouTube.com, cpluscomedy.com. If you want to watch video versions, youtube.com/cpluscomedy. If you want to check out the audio version, go to the Constitutionals feed wherever you get your podcasts. You can also subscribe to the Constitutionals wherever you get your podcasts. You can subscribe to our other podcasts, LinkedIn Logs, wherever you get your which is the Jobs podcast, and the Constitutionals is the Entertainment Business News podcast. You can find us on TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, at C Plus Comedy, me at Chad Black White. Just watch all the videos, listen to all the shows. It's not going to harm you, baby. They're good. I'm good. Okay. Bye.